Particularly in that second half.
Okay, on this occasion, the stats don't lie. Germany, the better side, thoroughly deserving of that victory, getting the 2-0 win against France. As promised, let's welcome in Frank Lebeouf, shall we? Frank, what on earth happened?
I would say that in French, horrible, terrible. That was a catastrophe. That was we saw nothing.
I mean, that was terrible catastrophe.
I was so appalled about. Yeah, oh come on, that was easy, Craig. That's something not. Yes, of course, I wasn't expecting to see. So, of course, Didier Deschamps will have the excuse of Griezmann not being there. The guy has played 84 games in a row for the national team, and the first game is not there. France is losing. But first, congrats to the Germans. I mean, maybe the game was playing their own pace, but they did what they had to do. And in the middle of the park, if you had also Wirtz, the Leverkusen player, with the four in the middle, with Musiala, Kroos, Henrich, and I forgot the other one, Gundogan, of course. They've been absolutely fantastic, and the counter-pressing that they made was perfect. So, German side, nothing to say. But France, we saw nothing. Defensively, Upamecano and Pavard had so much problems working on that. If Samba is not in the goal, it's maybe 4-0, and easily 4-0. So we saw nothing at front except Dembele in the first half, a little bit. Otherwise, nobody existed. Really, in the middle of the park, I can't even say they didn't exist at all. So let's say it's an accident. It's only today a yellow card.
Wow.
That's it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, yeah. I prepared everything. I had 20 minutes to prepare. Yeah, no, that's a yellow. I don't know, maybe you don't have the right color. But that was a non-game. Let's say it's an accident. Let's say that I still think France is the favorites with England. But, they will have to prove to the fans that they can play a better football, and very, very soon.
Jules, was this just typical French arrogance? Thought you could just turn up and beat a struggling German side?
No, I don't think so. I hope, in a way, me and Frank would like that. Would like it to be. Would like to be just the arrogance, because you can sort that out easily. You just say to the boys, you can't take anything for granted at level. I think the problem is, unfortunately, a bit more serious than just arrogance or overconfidence, things like that, because when you concede a goal after 7 seconds, I think it makes life obviously very difficult for you. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's normal. When you go one goal down, and Germany, especially in the first 15 minutes of that first half, were outstanding with the ball especially. Then France were better, they were more aggressive, they won the duel, the second ball, and we created a few half chances where maybe Dembele, Thuram and Kylian could have done a little bit better. But then at the start of the second half, you concede again, and then the second half, you're just blown completely apart by this Germany time. Kroos, Wirtz, Musiala just toying with us, playing with us the whole time. It was embarrassing at times that there was no reaction. Even the players coming off the bench had no reaction. Giroud, Fofana, Theo, nothing. We saw nothing either from the guys coming on, really. So that's a little bit worrying. There were players missing, of course, and Griezmann is the main one. But I was very, very and pleasantly surprised by the reaction that Germany showed. And it's not just Kroos being back. I think when you can play with Musiala and Havertz like that, and Havertz and Wirtz like that, it's pretty good, to be fair. And I think Nagelsmann definitely found something.
How will this result change the narrative of Germany going into the tournament, which of course they're hosting, Jan?
I will say it in German. Sehr gut, klasse, ausgezeichnet. I will follow Frank.
Derek's on the phone, you mispronounced that.
I will, but fantastic. I mean, there have been times that Germany has been embarrassed that they're going to host the Euros, because I think the national team has been so very, very bad. And of course, that start today, it reminds me a bit of American football when they just turned it around, gave it to the quarterback, Toni Kroos, played it into Wirtz, bang, 1-0 for Germany. And also the second goal, Florian Wirtz over to Musiala to Havertz. And it's quite interesting now that these three musketeers will play a major role there, because there was a big discussion, will he play with a typical number 9 in Füllkrug, or will he put Havertz there? But to your question, Dan, I mean, this means so much to them. Give them confidence back. The confidence of German football lately has been terrible. I mean, nobody wanted to coach that team. They found Nagelsmann, and then I think that Nagelsmann said in an interview, maybe I decide where I go before the Euros. And now they're talking a bit about him as a savior who will stay there for another 40 years as a national coach. A massive, massive game for Germany, beating one of the favourites at home in Paris. Unbelievable. Ausgezeichnet wieder.
Ah, yes.
Yes, all right.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Sorry?
You know, you make a nice big diagonal run towards the right back. Wirtz spins inside, clips a nice ball into him, great touch, bang, 1-0 behind. I mean, you've got to get, it's a bit like a set piece, it's a bit like a corner kick. We saw it, Man City a week or so ago against Liverpool. Pre-planned. Liverpool sleeping, got caught out. And I think France got caught out there for sure with that pre-planned move. Now, it's good to get caught out now. It's a friendly. Don't get caught out of the Euros. It's a simple thing. You know, you don't get beaten twice making the same mistake. But similar to the England conversation, if Nagelsmann can find a platform, not with Kroos back and Andrich in there as a bit of a guy who does all the water carrying and gets the tackles in, if you can somehow find a way to get Musiala and Florian Wirtz in this side, operating with the freedom that they do for Bayern Munich and more so for Leverkusen, and then you got Kai Havertz up front or floating around, you absolutely need somebody in the middle of the park that's got power, it's got physicality, and has got aggression. Because, you know, Gundogan's not that kind of player, obviously, and Toni Kroos, who plays a little deeper, has never been that type of player, and he certainly isn't now in his 30s. Many, many other magnificent facets to his game. So it's about balance. And the balance of the German team, even defensively, under the previous managers and Hansi Flick and Jurgen Löw, defensively they were a shambles. You know, how many back fours have they had in the last 3 or 4 years, and have they tried? And they've all been, most of the time, been terrible. So almost every facet of the team has been struggling, and it's been about balance. And now at least they've got players playing well for their clubs, most of them. The balance looks a bit better. Yes, it's a friendly, and I get all that. But you have to take the positives. You're playing France, you're away from home, and as Jill said, I think in the second half, it was embarrassing for the French at times how the German football just cut them open.
Why was it so easy for the Germans, Jules?
It's a good question, I think, in midfield, especially not just the Griezmann not being there. I thought Tchouaméni was lost completely. Rabiot, who just coming back from an injury, looked, to be fair, not really fully match fit, and certainly didn't have the rhythm to be able to play when Gundogan is there. And the thing about Wirtz and Musiala as well is they are so clever players. They play between the lines, so it's difficult. At times, it's the right back and the left back that can go on them, but sometimes it has to be the two of your three midfielders. And the fact that I don't think Rabiot, Tchouaméni and Zaire Emery, I thought Zaire Emery had a bit of an impact in the first half in terms of being aggressive, recovering the ball. He was the one who was, of the three French midfielders, Tchouaméni and Rabiot and him, for me, he was the most switched on. The other two, it was just enough there for them. And I think when you lose that battle there with Kroos, for Kroos at times, it was just like he was dictating the pace of the game so easily, especially in that second half. There was no challenge on him. We could not get close to him. That's where we lost it. And then, I mean, I love Didier Deschamps, as you know, and tonight was his 150th game for the national team. Incredible achievement.
What do you mean you love him? Every time France play, you have a go at his tactics, yeah.
No. Let me finish.
Let
me finish. I love him as a guy and for everything that he's done for French football. Tonight, I know Konate was not fully fit, but to bring Pavard as centre-back next to Upamecano who's not starting for Bayern anymore, who's going through like a really difficult patch where he's lost confidence. And you could see tonight that he doesn't have much confidence. And then you put Pavard next to him, who's never really played with him as a centre-back. Pavard used to be the right back for France for many, many games. I'm just not sure that was the most wise idea that Deschamps had tonight. Even on the left-hand side, to have Lucas Hernandez instead of his brother, I'm not really sure. So I think overall, from Deschamps to a lot of those starting players, it was just enough there.
Who disappointed you the most today, Frank?
Didier Deschamps.
Oh, no.
Because
no, Zidane. Get Zidane on the phone.
No. It's not that. I know Didier is a hard worker and maybe try to test some players. But if you have Rabiot injured, why don't you put somebody else? I mean, he just come back from injury. Rabiot, he's not ready. You play a national team game. Why do you want him to come back? I mean, he's not a second division or League 2 game. It's an international game, even if it's a friendly. You know that you play against Germany. You know that if you play slowly, Kroos and Gundogan is going to kill you because technically they're very good. You have to put the pressure, and Craig mentioned that before. You put the pressure on them, it's going to be totally different because they don't know or they cannot defend anymore. And you put somebody who just come back from injury. You try two centre-backs who are not ready to play together. You play a left-back instead of another one. I mean, it's against Germany. It's 3 or 4 months before the Euro. We are not testing anything. We are confirming. We have to confirm something. This is why I'm very sad about that result because I didn't see what I wanted to see. Again, it's an accident, and I really think that I really think, and I never thought that Griezmann in the middle of the park was missing a lot. I never thought that his influence was so strong for the national team.
Nobody's mentioned a certain guy today.
Which guy? Mbappe?
Yeah.
But you hate it when people bring up Mbappe. Now you've brought him up.
But Jules and Frank being friends, I've just talked about the French team for, I'm going to say 15 minutes or so.
Right.
We've had this discussion.
Yes.
And all these French problems, but nobody's talked about his influence or lack of it in the game.
Well, why don't you ask them?
It's not my job to ask anybody.
Well, you seem to have taken enough.
He hates talking about Mbappe. That's why he didn't ask.
Mbappe, and I'll bring him up.
Who brought him up?
I'll bring him up towards the end of this. What was wrong with Mbappe today, Jules?
I don't know. I thought he tried. It was a really good matchup with Kimmich, who's back at right back, where he, for club and country now as well, where he didn't really want to play ever again. I thought that matchup was great. And at times, Kylian, I think, made the difference. The cross, which is just the final pass, the final cross, or he's shooting. There's one chance in the first half on the cross by Dembele where he controls the ball and hits it like half volley and he goes wide where he should have done better. It was not all bad, but it's true that in a game like this, when he's also your captain as well, obviously, when yesterday, for example, in the press conference, when we asked him, do you feel a little bit like, no, we said we used the word unsettled by all the thing about Real Madrid and PSG and all of that. He said, have you seen my last games? Do I look unsettled? Which is true. He didn't look. He's been amazing with PSG the last game, but tonight it was not good enough from him. And not just maybe scoring or assisting, more the leadership of your team is struggling, and yet you have to carry and to pull it out. And I never felt really that he was the guy for that tonight.
I wasn't going to bring this up. I wasn't going to bring this up because Craig has brought Kylian Mbappe into the conversation. Just a word on these ongoing talks with Real Madrid and the Olympics might be a problem. You wrote about this, Jules. Just explain what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, he repeated to us yesterday that he still wants to go, that nobody has told him that he was not going. And then when we asked him the question again, he said, well, when I say nobody, I mean PSG, of course, because I'm still under contract. Where we all know, and he also knows that PSG are not going to decide if he goes to the Olympics or not. Real Madrid are going to decide that. And Real Madrid, we've learned this week that they've sent an email to the French Federation last month saying, we just make it clear, none of our French players, so they didn't name anyone, but none of our French players will be made available by us for the Olympics. So forget about all the French players that we have. So forget about Mendy, Chouameni, Camavinga, obviously Mbappe, because he will go there. So, but Kylian said, until somebody tells me that I'm not going, then I will keep hoping that I'm going. And I think Thierry Henry as well will keep trying to convince Real Madrid, especially to let him go to the Olympics. But again, it's a problem because the Olympics are not FIFA dates. So it's down to the club if they want to release their players. So that goes for Mbappe and Real Madrid, but it could go for any English club, Spanish club, Italian club, French club, whoever. If they don't want to release their players, they won't release them, and France will have to do, and other countries will have to do without them.
I think we. I I think we are talking a lot about the losing team now. I just want to be a bit compliment to Julian Nagelsmann because Julian Nagelsmann made some great decisions before this game. He said definitely that he will put Kimmich on the right back. He put Kroos back, and he's starting with saying that I want to have Wirtz and Musiala around the team, and then the consequence is the players I pick because Goretzka is out. So very good point from Craig there with Andrich. That is the guy you need. Just imagine this film when you're doing this great robbery. You need that man. You're missing. You can't only have Brad Pitt and George Clooney. You need Andrich as well when you're doing a big robbery. And Julian Nagelsmann has understood that.
Wow.
Well, the haircut, I'm not sure, because the haircut and the beard, he's going to be an easy pick out.
It's quite scary, though.
Isn't he?
In line-up, you mean?
In the line-up, yeah, he's an easy, but I don't want him.
I don't think so. Jan, obviously now it's getting 2 wins in a row for Germany against the Dutch on Tuesday. This has added a more intriguing element to that.
Well, probably if you know the German team lately, they will probably lose now against Holland.
Jan, you've been more positive.
I am very positive, but I can't overestimate how important this win was. No, whatever happens now, because the German football, I mean, we know German football. We grew up. Some of us are in the same generation here, at least one or two, that we knew how big a football nation they are. They've been terrible at the last tournaments, and now they're hosting them at themselves. It's like they're so worried. Rudi Völler was sitting in the stands there. They're putting everybody back in now to try to sort out this national team, and this win, vital for them.
Thank you very much, Jan. Stay with us for extra time. Jules, we'll let you go. Thank you very much. Frank will be with us as well for extra time. But if you want to hear more from Jules, be sure to check out the latest edition of the Gab and Jules podcast